Welcome to Mama Sue's Kitchen. It's the afternoon and I won't show this video until in the morning. But I was going to make some cornbread for supper. And I got out my iron skillet and it is in the oven heating with a little oil in it. But the iron skillet that I use for cornbread was handed down to me by my aunt. She was 93 when she died, and she made her cornbread in a square iron skillet. I loved that skillet. It was seasoned. I can't imagine how many times she must have put lard in it and heated it up for her cornbread. She could make the best cornbread, and if all she had was peas and cornbread and an onion, oh my goodness, it was delicious. And you know, that was a legacy that I remember about her. I remember how good her cornbread was. And as I'm making it, I'm going to tell you some more about it. I make my cornbread by the recipe that's on the back of the Martha White cornbread mix. And I don't measure anything anymore except my cornmeal. And I know it calls for 2 cups of cornmeal. And this is a 1/2 cup measuring cup. So I put 4 in there. It also calls for 1 egg. So I'll put 1 egg. And it says 1/4 cup of oil. And I'm going to put 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. It doesn't call for this, but I put about a tablespoon of sugar. You don't have to put that if you don't want to, but we always have. And then I don't measure my milk. It's about 1 1/3 cups. And I'll just stir, and I know what the consistency looks like. That keeps me from having to mess up another bowl, measuring cup. All right, it's a little thick, you see? So I'm gonna add a little bit more milk. I'm using whole milk. In the South, we call it sweet milk. If Harold makes cornbread, he uses buttermilk. I don't have any buttermilk right now. If I had it, I would use it. But we keep sweet milk or whole milk all the time. Still need just a little bit more. And I know what the consistency is, and I'll show you. I think this is probably going to be it. This is self-rising cornmeal. If you didn't have self-rising, you would have to add some things to it. That's about how I want mine. Did you hear my oven beep? That meant it was hot. And you want your skillet hot. All right. I put a few tablespoons of oil in there. And this is that skillet that was passed down to me. You hear it sizzling? Oh my. Now I preheated the oven to 450 degrees. This is the cornbread I use in my cornbread dressing. All right, I'm going to put this back in the oven. For 17 to 18 minutes. I'm going to do 18 minutes. And then when it does come out, I will show you, and I want to talk to you a little bit more about a legacy of passing things down. The cornbread cooked for 18 minutes. And I'm going to take it out. I just have a plate. And I'm just going to dump it out. Nothing stuck. We like ours good and brown. Do you know why that came out so easily? Because it was seasoned well. It had been passed on and used, and when I got it, all I had to do was carry on the legacy of how she made her cornbread. But you know what? I may not carry on a legacy to my grandchildren about making cornbread. They may not like it. But I hope the legacy I carry on is that Gigi loved God, Gigi had faith, and that Gigi prayed about everything. Griffin, who is in college right now, used to kind of kid, but I was tickled because I knew he meant it. One time his older brother Keith passed out. He just hit the floor and passed out. And Griffin said, Gigi started praying. His mom and daddy were taken care of, and I just started calling on the Lord. So I hope that I pass on the legacy of when things are not going well, or when things are going well, talk to Jesus. But this old iron skillet right here, it's probably 100 years old. I wish it could talk. But today I just wanted to share that with you because I thought about it when I got out that iron skillet, and I said, I'm going to tell them about it. Remember to be salt and light wherever you go. Jesus loves you. Doesn't matter what you've done. So many people think, oh, I've done too much wrong. No. All he wants you to do is to come to him, tell him you're sorry, and he'll forget it. I'll be back soon. Thank you for following me.